know that it's okay to agree to disagree. Now, try not to agree to disagree on everything and try to find some resolutions, but sometimes there aren't any. And it is really okay to just disagree, but be okay with compromising and just being able to say that. You are listening to It's All Mental Podcast, a show that empowers Black and Brown females on how to maintain good mental health through personal and real life experiences. Each week, we explore various topics that any female can relate to. I am your host, licensed professional counselor, and owner of Glass Seats, Pamela Smith. What's up, good people? Coming to you today to talk about a form of communication. One of the things I wanted to talk about is how to fight fair. In communicating, we often don't know how to fight fair. And I know it sounds crazy. It's like, what do you mean how to fight fair? Well, you can actually have a disagreement without it getting really ugly, without avoiding, without giving someone the silent treatment, without it being negative or hostile, right? You can take some time and actually have a discussion, a disagreement. It sometimes things get out of hand and it does become heated. But when possible, take a step back. Ask yourself, what is it about this particular discussion is actually making me upset? Is it the fact that he or she actually left their socks on the floor, or is it something deeper? And then once you have determined what the issue is, the true issue is, examine that fact, and then at a different time when things aren't so heated, come back to the person and then try to have a rational conversation at that time. Discuss issues one at a time. Don't try to talk about, well, you left the socks on the floor, well, you left the toothpaste, the cap to the toothpaste out or off, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. Nope. One at a time. Don't try to put all the things out on the table because it's too overwhelming. And to be perfectly honest, the true matter that needs to be discussed never gets discussed. Don't be rude. Don't put down, someone. Don't swear. No name calling. That's just ugly. And it's childish. It's immature. And it's not going to get anything resolved. It's not going to get nowhere positive anyway. So try to be mindful that you want to handle things in a healthy manner and try to do things different. Be responsible. I don't know if you've heard this before, but use I statements. Take responsibility. And yes, that's a big word, but take responsibility and be accountable for yourself. So, I'm scared when you yell. I'm hurt when you ignore me, or, I. Make sure you put the onus on yourself. Don't put it off on the other person. Make it about you because you have to be responsible for you. Don't put the responsibility of your feelings, of your emotions off on someone else. That's not fair. Take turns talking, so even if I know it sounds crazy, but even if you have to set a timer, everybody has a smart watch or smartphone or whatever, set a timer and adhere to the rules and things and try your best not to interrupt. It's very, very hard, but try it and see how it works for you. Don't be so focused on the timer that you miss out on what the other person is saying, but listen. Actively listen to what the person is saying to you. And if you have to write down, buzzwords or whatever to remind you so you can actually respond, then do that. But actively listen so you can then address what's being said and you guys can actually talk about it. Be a big girl, be a big boy. Don't avoid, don't, deflect, don't project. Actually have a conversation. It's hard enough to have a conversation these days anyway because it's not what we do in American culture. We just don't. We do not converse. We're so concerned about hurting each other. We're so concerned about not taking responsibility. It's easier to retreat. Try to do something different, So if you need to take a time out, do so. But please come back to it. come back to the situation and have the conversations that need to be had. No yelling, no screaming, again, no name calling. And also know that it's okay to agree to disagree. Now, try not to agree to disagree on everything and try to find some resolutions, but sometimes there aren't any. And it is really okay to just disagree, but be okay with compromising and just being able to say that. Hopefully, this helps, especially during these times where we are a little more close than we had been, say, 3-4 months ago. I don't want to make this about Corona or COVID. I want to make this about communication and strengthening relationships. So I don't want this to be COVID based, but I want this to be about helping you be a better communicator. And so hopefully that's what you take from it. As usual, hit me up, let me know how it's going, and have a good one. Thanks for listening to It's All Mental Podcast. If you could do us a favor and leave a review on Apple Podcast, that would be great. Until next week, I am your host, Pamela Smith.